Yeah, Madhav. I started this life with the intention that everyone who is in Nepal, they get to know more about business, startups, and all those things that we do, right? And The reason I wanted you to be in this live is, I think one of the things that is like really missing in Nepal is business development, or how do you make a startup, or how do you actually grow a business, right? And I think like you are an expert at it. I have seen you work. I have seen you grow a business. I have seen you in the good times. I have seen you in the hard times. So yeah, you were like kind of a verified
Ex
person for. Yeah, go
Expert is
ahead.
an overstatement, Vivek. I'm just learning as everyone else. So yeah, I learn as we grow. So kind of an overstatement. But yeah, yeah. Would you like how to proceed with it? Like, I know I have been working with Nepalese developer a lot, and their tech part is really good. I think they are one of the finest developers I've ever seen. And the problem I usually face that those guys are very tech savvy without the real understanding of kind of what sells. And there is a huge push for business development in that particular direction, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. So that is why the main motive of this Insta Live is also to like kind of bridge that gap, right? Uh, and yeah, so and that is why you are here. And let's just start with maybe introducing everyone on who you are, what are you doing, and they have been hearing about Evolve from me a lot, but yeah, I want the guy himself to introduce Evolve. Yeah, so go ahead, introduce yourself, Madhav.
Yeah, introduction. Tricky part. Okay. I am Madhav and I love to build solutions. More than that, I love to sell solutions. So I work with, I take an idea, try to, kind of compile it into something that's sellable, and I try to create the best out of it. My whole intention with Evolve and why we are building Evolve is to, kind of help people get a better experience from the masses actually. Evolve is a Web3 product, I would say, and it's more kind of providing or kind of, enabling Web3 technology to masses. That's the core concept of Evolve. How can we use blockchain technology in such a sense that in general, like when you see like the masses and when you see everyone, they don't know a lot about blockchain technology. Okay, and that's the biggest hurdle there. The technology is just a technology. You can't keep building on technology a lot. You need something that sells, and technology does not sell itself. And that's what Evolve is doing. Evolve is basically enabling adoption of that particular technology.
Yeah. Yeah, that is I think idea part of Evolve, right? It will be also helpful if
Yeah.
you mention about where are we at right now at Evolve, what exactly are we doing today, and also if possible, drop us some numbers on what we are doing, or drop us some names on like whom are we collaborating with and all.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. To give you like, let me start with a quick background about myself. Okay. I kind of, get connected with this whole Web3 space and blockchain space back in 2019 when I was in college. And like, I come from a design background, a product background, and I love to design products. So designing was my niche. And then I realized, okay, there's much more to product building than designing. So I started with a layer one called Zulika, stayed there for nearly 2.5 years, then realized okay, it's time to kind of skill up. So started, creating my own venture. So my first venture was Demons, and Vivek was part of it. Glad Vivek was part of it. And then we started the second venture, Evolve. With Evolve, you see, like when you are building something for a second time, you learn from your mistakes. Okay, what are the things that kind of, you learn while building your first ventures? And the biggest thing I learned is no matter how good your tech is, if you can't sell that tech, it's worthless. Distribution of that tech is the kind of the goal. Like without distribution, no matter if you have the world's best product, it won't sell. And that was my complete focus of Evolve. Like we have to build solution that sells. So with for the Evolve itself, you see, we kind of did not start working on Evolve on day one. We started with having conversations with customers, having conversations with potential customers, potential brands. Okay, what's the problem that you are facing? Rather than building a product and then going to the market, we first went to the market, understand their needs, and started building out the solution. Now, Evolve has pretty good, I would say, product market fit validated. We have launched 11 launches, and some of the results were really, really good. Like our recent launch was with David Guetta and Marshmello in a music festival in Thailand. And right now, our biggest focus is music festivals, sports industry, live event entertainment. Basically, when we talk about Evolve, Evolve is kind of a tech that connects customers and brands. It can be used in various industries with various use cases. But our major focus right now is live event industry. So we are quite focused on that, especially like music and sports. In sports also, we are working with some of the pretty good football clubs across Southeast Asia, across Europe. You guys might know some. We'll do a press release soon. But yeah.
Yeah, even I'm waiting for that press release. Yeah, yeah. Madhav, yeah. So continuing to that, right? I think you tossed some part of it. Let's dig in a bit deeper to that, right? I think a lot of people struggle with finding the first client for their venture, right? They start doing marketing
Yeah.
or all of those things, but what doesn't
Yeah.
land is their first client, right? First paying client who will give them some revenue in their business, right? And that is where they lose it, right? So how do you get your first client in your venture? That is the question.
The first client.
Share, share some insights on some for someone who is like beginning their venture on like what can be the possible ways that they will get their first client or paying client. Yeah.
You see, Vivek, like ideally, the first client should be your friends and family because they are most easy to target and they are kind of, can act as a supporting thing. But for Evolve, our first client, like Evolve is a B2B company, right? So we can't have that friends and families as our first client. So we kind of, focused ourselves to create our network in that particular market that you want to tap. Make through our market, we made those friends and push those friends that we made through that network to be our first clients, right? So I would say, like, you see, unless there is complete professional relationship, it's really hard to lend a first client. You need to have some sort of a personal connect with the people you are trying to land as the first client. You see, once you have landed the first client, once they have used a product, once they gave you feedback, once okay, you might have some level of product market fit, then I think it's time to scale. But first client should always be someone who can work with your solution, who can provide feedback to you on your solution.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I personally
Again,
feel
that
like.
answer can, yeah. I think that answer also has a question in itself, which is like, how do you develop a professional relationship with people who are already in the industry, right?
Uh,
That is a question in itself. How do you do that?
I would say like just being visible and is good enough. And when I say being visible, I mean like you have to be a part of let's say those particular circles in those particular industries. Let's say let me just give you my example. I wanted to tap into event industry, like live event entertainment industry. I want to target music festivals. That circle I could have never tapped. And what I thought, okay, if I cannot tap that, why don't I onboard someone who can tap that? That what I did for live event industry. For something similar with football clubs. Okay, me sitting in India in Bangalore. Okay, I can't tap into those football industry. Not something putting on LinkedIn. Not even attending events can tap that. So based on what you actually want to tap, you have to kind of create your strategy around that. For me, I became really, really good friends with some people who can tap into those markets rather than me directly tapping in those markets. You see, you got to create a value chain. If it's not you, then it should be someone who can do it for you.
Yeah.
That's I think is the best way to tap into those regions. Best case scenario, you got to tap into those particular market by them yourself. Either do marketing, either do your LinkedIn social promotions, go to events, meet those people virtually, like rather than just being a part of the crowd. You gotta do something to stand out, and you gotta make sure like people notices you, right? And you gotta make sure okay you are visible like every day. People, even if people are not paying attention to you, you have to got to visible at that level that people can't afford to like not look at you if you want to kind of create your presence on that part. If you can't
Yeah.
do that, find someone who can do it for you.
Yeah. I think while we are saying all this thing, right? I think one of the thing that a beginner, someone who is like a beginner, doesn't really get is like how much effort goes into making those meetings, making those in-person dinners, right? Or uh, making that business development process live, right? So I think, can you share some of the insights for those people on what is the effort that it takes? How many calls have you been through to get a client? How many months does it take to convert a client and all those things? I think that will be like really beneficial so that it gives a reality check for the beginner
Okay.
on how much effort
Okay.
is put in
To
business development. Yeah.
to land my biggest client, it took me nearly 1.5 year, and I used to ping them after every like 3 to 4 days, right? This is something you see. You can't rush when you are building a professional relationship with a client or with someone who is eager to use a product. You can't just keep pushing them. You gotta stay patient. But you see, I could have waited 1.5 year, and I waited 1.5 year. But not everyone can do that. And building this relationship, this kind of something that other people can trust their brand with you or trust their whatever resources with you. It's the most, I would say, like the trickiest thing. It's the most trickiest thing for even any early stage startup. Like if you can't control, or if you can't make best out of what you got layer on, you say, like partnerships and business networking. uh, you gotta, like, you have to be very ashamed, and you gotta keep your shame aside, but you have to keep pushing it, keep pushing it, keep pushing it until you get something. You see, for me, our first partner said no, I think more than 30 times to us. We lost our partner even signing the thing by like nearly 6 times. But you gotta stay persistent to it. You gotta land it. You gotta land it, because in the end, all that matters is how much money you are making, and you will value that effort afterwards. You see, you can't just put a cap on something. Okay, this is how much network I should do. This is how much BD I should do. This is how much, like, I should meet people. You have to do it. There is no excuse on that part, I would say. Like other things, yeah, can be toned down a bit, but you can't slack off on something that will give you money.
Yeah. I think one more question that I want to add here is, right. I think a lot of people, they leave a client after they say a no once. So one of the question is like, how do you keep your doors open so that even if the clients say no, how do you reach back to them, right? And another thing is like, how do you differentiate between like being over pussy and being like being that fine guy who is just trying to sell what he has built? How do you maintain that balance?
So, what I personally do is like let's say I am reaching to a client and I get rejected. Okay. So rather than closing all the doors, I try to end that conversation on a strategic note. Okay. So these things I think like these are most usable in investor relations. Like when you are talking to a VC, at the first sight, like 90% or 99% of the VCs say no. Okay. You gotta, rather than being pushy, you gotta, keep updating them like you are progressing rather than just, okay, invest in me, invest in me, invest in me. You gotta show them you are growing from the last time we talked. You gotta keep those conversations completely strategic rather than closing a door. Let's say, if you remember, Vivek, like when we were having conversation with like some particular VCs, they clearly said no, even like after seeing the deck,
Yeah.
and we kept on sending updates to them, weekly updates, monthly updates. We kind of meeting them in events again and again, again and again. Then they said, okay, let's set up a call. They understood what we are building. Now they are okay, yeah, let's keep this thing going. You see, so you have to be persistent, but not very pushy on the sense. You have to show them like you are willing to give your 100% for it. You are willing, you're sacrificing other things for it, and you're growing from the last conversation. So in the sense, you say like whenever let's say even if I am not interested in day one, when I see, okay, this guy is keep giving me regular update, this guy is kind of working on himself rather than just, staying with me, staying stagnant with me. People try to, tend to people try to, move in those direction. Okay. They want to see people, okay, they are making effort. People invest in effort rather than where you are right now, I would say.
Yeah. Uh, I think that basically sums up how do you get your first client? What is what should be your expectations, and how like regular and consistent do you need to be while developing a new business, right? After you get your first client or first two to three clients, right? Uh, how do you capitalize on top of it so that you can scale your business and get more clients from it, or even make the clients to like waiting for your service, right? So how do you actually create
Yeah,
that scalability in business?
good question. So, you see, there is a common like human tendency, something that's available to everyone at at a very low entry barrier. People lose value of it, and you gotta play around that particular human tendency. You make sure, okay, you maintain your value. You make sure people talk about it. You have a word of mouth. You get referrals, or you get testimonials from your existing clients, and you capitalize on that. You don't need like 100 new clients. You need, let's say, 20 or 5, even 10 good clients who are willing to pay you your worth. I would say like that should be the approach. What people do is like once they get initial 2 to 3 clients, they try to increase or push their sales funnel by such a margin that first they lose the value of the people who are already putting their interest in themselves. Second, if you're pushing yourself, if you're just increasing your sales funnels a lot, then there is no value left for the people like you're onboarding. You first, you see, when early stage projects are building, catering those clients on a kind of a parallel basis is the most trickiest part. Like this something I also faced with Evolve. Like we did some amazing launches. Some of them were really, really good. Based on that, we were getting a pretty good traction. We got traction, and but we got that much traction. Like we could not cater all of them. because
Yeah.
in each of the early stage startup, the only way you can cater a client is a sequential manner. Okay, you cater one client, then another. The moment you have five client requests on a parallel basis, you have to say no to four, and it creates a very bad impact on the business. So go slow, go steady, keep building on that, and then keep expanding your catering capabilities. Keep your then basically try to exponentially scale your solution rather than after 2 3 clients just push on the sales now. I would say that's not an optimal approach.
Okay. Yeah, I think one of the major issue that people face after they get like some clients is um, one is identifying who are their right clients, whom are they like uh, whom should they target as their clients, and another thing is like saying no to the clients who are like willing to pay them money, and if they see money in end, then they will like pivot to anything, right? They are not really strategic about it. So how do you identify who are like right clients whom you want to work with, and like how do you say no to the people?
When you're building a business,
Yeah,
when you're building a business, there is no right or wrong client, Vivek. There is client who is willing to pay your worth, and there is client who is not willing to pay your worth. The client who is paying to is willing to pay your worth is your client. Leave the rest. Early stage startups, they need money. Okay. Don't care if the guy is really, really good. If he is unable to afford you, leave him. Simple. Like you say, you can't categorize client based on their like if they are good client or bad client. Client, can they pay? Can they not? Simple. If they can pay, good, go for it.
okay, okay, yeah, makes
You
sense.
see, like
Yeah,
you can't get emotionally connected with your business. You're building that business to make money. I can't, let's say if you're a friend, I can't, keep giving you things for free. That's not how things work. If I'm
yeah,
building something, you have to pay for it. If you're paying for it, you're a good client. Simple.
yeah. I think again, like adding to that, right? I think where a lot of people miss is like, for example, they are like working for a company which has like really good branding, right? And if they are
Yeah.
working for them but not getting paid as what they are worth or what other clients are paying, right? And those companies are kind of making loss for the company, right? But still they want to keep up the partnership because that credibility is giving them making them credible in the market, right? How do you like, do you say no to them, or
Yeah. Yeah.
what do you do? What do you do in such case?
Yeah, so this happens with me. Like I have to play strategically. You see, so when I'm targeting a client, so you see, and when any early stage startup is targeting a client, their worth is not defined by just a paying client. Their worth or a client's worth is not defined by what the amount they're paying. The client worth is defined by kind of what's the overall value they can provide to your startup. Okay, so yeah, some clients may be paying less, some clients may be, paying more. But if a client that is paying less can provide you 5 to 6 additional clients, then or additional clients that can pay for your solution or who are willing to use our solution. You see, so we also do these sort of strategic partnerships where we take less amount from a major client, create that client as a kind of a client aggregator or a brand aggregator, and use that brand aggregator as a distribution channel to cater different brands. And why this approach is effective, I would say. You see, the effort and the time you're putting to onboard one client is kind of somewhat similar to the effort and time you're putting to onboard one client aggregator or a brand aggregator that can connect you with multiple brands. And yes, the client aggregator won't pay you much, but those brands they have, those clients they have, if they're paying, I think that should be the direction which at least the product oriented startups should follow. Like, yeah, you have to do partnerships, you have to bring your name to the table, then you have to stay connected with those people who can do it for you. You can't do everything. You can't, if you're building a solution, if you're building a product, you can't do everything on your own. You need those people. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, so there was one question from Neeraj and Casey, and I found it quite interesting, right? To give you a bit of context on who he is just like he has just started his company called Lens Me Up, which is kind of an alternative to ClickUp. And he is like
Okay.
looking forward to onboard users or organization in his platform, right? And I think he is looking for an answer on like to do that to onboard like more clients. Is giving discounts a good idea, or should he follow a different path to build his business?
No, so you see, user acquisition strategies can vary a lot on your product. So there are referral programs like, if you are already a product user, onboard a new user, and you see, rather than just giving flat discount, connected with kind of a acquisition strategy like a referral program or like something that kind of acts in acts in a kind of an activation plan for your startup. I think that would be more effective rather than just the discount. You see, when you do just a discount, you are kind of giving the discount of the people who already have visibility on your product. If you want to cater more brands, if you want to, you have to do more kind of a referral program or more kind of a more acquisition strategy in terms of like you see like some of the projects what also do is their referral program is very referee focused. So the guy who's referring to someone, their incentives to those particular things or those particular parties are very high than the people they're referring, because cost of acquiring customer is high, and there is no denying that. When you are building a product, there might be hundreds of products competing with your similar product. Okay. And to compete with those, you need people. You can't just onboard all the clients, all the by yourself. You need sub people or sub teams that is not a part of your main team who is helping you doing that. And referral programs and other acquisition strategy can be effective on that part.
Yeah. Also, like, I would like to add one point that Utkarsh, one of our other co-founder, made. I think he said like the referral rewards, or like the discounts that you give should be always less than the customer acquisition cost, right? Then only the referral program will
Definitely,
work.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. So that's why we have Utkarsh on our team. That guy gave us reality check.
yeah, yeah. Shout out to Utkarsh, and also I think Samek was on the live. Uh, so yeah, shout out to both of them. They are amazing.
If Samyak, if you're
Yeah,
here, just cheer up, guys.
yeah.
Comment something. Comment something. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, now we talk about co-founders, then let's add one question about the co-founders itself. How do you build a team, right? How do you onboard co-founders who add like value to the plate, who are not just there because you are close to them or something like that, who can like really benefit your business? How do you choose your co-founders? How do you build that first team of co-founders?
Hmm. So, Vivek, like, I might have an opinion that's, kind of varied from the industry in this particular manner. So, onboarding co-founders is the most crucial part of your thing, because you see they act as kind of a pillars on whatever you are building. And if you have a co-founder first, that co-founder should complement to what you are. Okay. If I'm a BD guy, if I'm, like, let's say, if you're a technical guy, okay, having another technical co-founder does not make sense, no matter how good that guy is. If you are a technical guy, you need a co-founder that's pretty, not even great, but pretty good in the business part. Okay. You need to complement your skills. And that's the key first thing. Second, finding a co-founder. You see, I read this somewhere like 80% of the startups fail because their co-founders fall apart. And it's a bigger concern. If you have a co-founder that's, like you don't know them very well or you don't have very good personal relationship with them, just completely professional. When the thing is, when there is a professional relationship between two co-founders, they only think, or even talk about business or money. You got to build a connect with them. Let's say how you see, like I met you 2 years after working with you as a co-founder, but
Yeah,
it never felt like I don't know you because that's
yeah,
how that's the responsibility of co-founders. You see, even if you don't know that person, you got to build that sort of relationship that you are emotionally connected with that person. So having someone from a friend circle, it's the most preferred thing because you know that guy, you can trust that guy. When you are having co-founders on your team, trust is the most important thing. Without that, I would say like everything falls apart. And if you can trust a person, yeah, that's a good founder for you. If that guy is really, um, yeah.
okay. Uh, yeah, there is one question.
I saw a
I think.
question like, what if both of your co-founders have a totally different ideology and have conflicts over a decision? What will you do then? Yeah, it happens a lot. Like, that's what your co-founders have. You don't have to be aggressive on every decision. Me and my co-founders, we rarely agree on some particular thing. Okay, like say if I want to go with a particular direction, there should be someone saying me, okay, this direction might not be good. Okay, it's kind of comes down to all about communication and how you're conveying your message. Most of the times you see, let's say if Bibek is building some technical solution and I say I don't want it, rather than me going directly to Bibek, don't do this, to Vivek, there might be different things. So it's more kind of, how you're managing your communication thing with your co-founders. Because different ideologies is must. If you don't have a different ideology, you will have tunnel vision if everyone is thinking or planning in the same direction. You need an outside perspective. You need someone to think what you have not thought of. And those thoughts, those are really, really crucial. Like, if it's just Bebek and me in the team, I would say like we would have been not where we are right now, and that's value what other co-founders bring to the table. They give us that perspective that you might not have think of, and it all comes down to you as well, like how you're handling that perspective. You gotta be open to criticism. You gotta be open to their feedback. You gotta understand where they're coming from rather than bland statement like no, 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 no. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I think one thing that has really helped in our team is we all know like our strength, and if like technical expertise is my strength, and if we are conflicting over that technical part of thing, then last decision is mine, right? So I think that also helps us
Yeah.
avoid conflict because we know our strength, and we are all of the co-founders have different skill sets, so we will never conflict on the same kind of skill or same kind of a context because we are like master at something on our own, right? Yeah, I think that one thing also helps.
So yeah, like let's say if I'm putting my suggestion on a technical front, Bibek is open to address that, and Bibek should address that. But Bibek should not definitely follow that because technical domain is his domain. And if some non-tech guy comes and gives you a lecture on those particular thing, you have complete right to say no to that. And in the end, it's your thing. You see, unless unless all the co-founders feel okay, they own the thing, then there is a issue. You see, every co-founder should feel okay, it's their company rather than it's CEOs companies or CTOs companies or this co-founders companies. No, if you're building a product something, you have to feel that ownership in yourself. Then I think things work or pan out really, really well.
Yeah. One other thing that Madhav, I think I will like you to talk about is one thing that has really helped our team is right. you are getting like right advisors for our venture, right? Which is like maybe from technical part of point of view or business development or finances or all of those things, right? We always have some advisor with whom we can go and consult about what we are doing, right? How do you
Yeah.
get advisors? Uh, how do you get advisors to your venture? What does that kind of partnership looks like? Are you paying them? Are you how are they benefiting? Or like are you how are you getting those advisors and why do you need advisors in a venture? I think yeah.
Yeah, so advisors also like one of the most crucial part an early stage startup should have, because when you are an early stage startup, or when you are like first or second time founder, your perspective is very limited to what you're building or where you're selling. And to give an outside perspective from an experienced manner, that's where advisors come in. So let's say, for example, on fundraising, we have advisors like Amrit and Parth from Consequences, and you see, so we have advisors in different segments helping us in different things. Reason, first, your question is how to onboard an advisor. Yeah, we don't pay them. Okay. And they don't ask for anything because they are really, really good friends with us, me personally. And when you're onboarding someone on advisor, you want them to, you know, don't ask for money. Okay. You want them to advise what they feel is actually worth it. Okay. And they gotta, also stay connected to you. They gotta feel connected to you. Okay. I believe in this person no matter what they're building. I gotta believe in that this person. Okay. And when they think with you on that particular thing, I think their advices are most crucial. I personally have felt that, like, without some of the advice, I think we would have made some really, really bad decisions, and they saved us from that. Onboarding advisors, you see, finding a good advisor, the advisors are, not something, that's available in the market. You gotta meet people who are experienced in your space, not even in your space, who are experienced in startups, in what you're building, in product cycle, let's say, okay, or even in technical front. You gotta meet that people, you gotta get or gel along with them and get them to, okay, okay, this is what you're building, what you talk, get them to talk about what you're building. Then I feel like you can realize, okay, if those guys are worth it even as an advisor. Some advisors do take some share of equity. So I think each startup has somewhere around 5% of advisory equity, with if someone is providing you value or worth that you should provide. Our advisors don't take anything as of now, but I'll definitely, like share advisory equity with them.
Yeah. So I think there is a question. So Madhav, your sector is totally different from the sector I generally invest in. So if I want to invest in your company, what type of startups should I consider, cash burner or profit maker?
Any day profit maker. There, the time went, like when cash burner startups, you see, first of all, there's a different perspective on cash burner startup or profit maker startup. How the cash burner startup works. Okay, they are burning cash, but they're burning cash for what? So let me give you an example. A startup I was studying yesterday only. That startup burned cash for somewhere around 7 years, and then it became profitable after 7 years. And how this whole VC market works is, let's say a VC invested in you in early stage, they sell their stake to some another VC. Those VC purchase those shares at a higher valuation, then sell it to some other VC, and this whole VC pyramid works on. The moment you're now, when you have this whole VC, pyramid backing you up, there are two ways. Either you keep burning cash and get acquired, either you keep going that and go to another profitable stage. If you are an investor, cash burner startups are not an optimal choice in the current market. Like, yeah, startups have to burn cash to get visibility, to get audience, to get customers. But if those cash burning fees, like those cash burnings are not helping that startup a lot, other than just the customers. I think that's a issue. Profit is something, yes, go for it day one. If possible, go for it day one. But I also understand like when you are a founder, you can't get profitable. Getting profitable is one of the hardest thing. Evolve has been burning cash from nearly, I think, 2 years. And then we took a VC investment. And that VC investment came to us to see where we can be, not where we are. And when someone invests in you or your project, they don't invest in you where you are right now. They invest you where you will be or what's your vision. Okay. People usually say like they invest in individuals. No, they invest in individual visions and their capabilities. Yeah. So people or VCs mostly invest in cash burning state because they invest or they take a bet on those particular things. Okay, this guy can be profitable or not. Once they get profitable, they can get the exit. VCs are smarter than you think. There has been a narrative going on. VCs are up, VCs are up. No, they are here to make money, and they invest in those things that can give them money. They don't give a shit about what startup is building, what's the value they are providing. They are here to make money. They make money. Simple.
Yeah. I think there is also this one thing going on in the market where people are like raising crazy money by like giving away a lot of equity and just like bragging about it on how much money they have raised. And
Really bad decision, Vivek. Really bad decision. Unless your goal is to
yeah,
build a company to sell, not bad. Unless your goal is to build a company to, just get acquired, yeah, go for it. Even when you're getting acquired and when another project or another acquisition partner sees, okay, you don't have a majority say in your company, they'll leave you
yeah,
hanging. And I personally have seen a lot of startup completely died out, dried out on this thing. And yeah, giving, you see, while at your pre-seed or seed stage, you should not give more than 10% of your equity. Like eventually, yes, when you go to Series A, Series B, your equity will be significantly low. But if you're at early stage, at pre-seed, seed, even Series A, I think giving too much equity is just killing yourself and your startup
yeah,
as a
yeah,
as a business professional, not like directly killing yourself.
yeah. Also, like not just for that venture, if you just like raise a lot of money and dilute a lot of equity, and if that like startup doesn't do good, then when like you have more better ideas or when you want to like build businesses that can scale a lot, then your trust
Yeah,
is
yeah,
basically
the
gone, right?
moment you raise a lot of money by giving a lot of equity, you lose the say, right? Most people leave startup to build something to, not be governed by someone else. But the moment you keep giving or, just sending out equity, you are losing its whole value. You can't even take a decision in your company by taking approval of the board. And is that sort of startup you want? So,
Yeah. There is a question. I know sales, but I don't know how to implement it. What will be the first step? Yeah, Madhav, it's for you.
what? I
Can
know
you
sales,
please
I don't know.
know how to implement it? Yeah.
Implementing sales. I would love to have more context. If the guy knows sales, what
I think
exactly sales do you mean that you know, and what
I think
implementation are you looking
he's
for?
trying to.
Say,
Now, what he means by that, I think, is he has some idea of sales, but he is not being able to implement it. So, what will he
oh,
do to implement?
sales is something that the more we think like we know sales is less we know actually, because sales is, I would say, tricky, and you can't learn it. You gotta experience it. You gotta do it, right? I don't understand what the guy means. He knows sales. No, you don't know sales if you are, asking like how to do sales, because sales is something that's not knowledge. It's a whole thing, right? Like it's a funnel. Like you gotta meet people, you gotta create your sales funnel, you gotta create your sales and you gotta pitch what you're selling, you gotta sell your USPs, right? You gotta create a kind of a target audience which I want, like who would buy my product, who I want to sell to. And yeah, like you can't like know sales and not do sales.
Yeah. Sales. I don't think sales is more of a theory. Sales is all about going in the market.
Yeah, sales is not a theory. It's all about selling your thing, selling yourself, selling your product to your clients or your to your potential clients. You see, learning sales, I don't think like what people learn or let's say learn from a YouTube video or something is effective in real world. And then sales is like I have never had a professional degree in business development sales, but I do sales. I talk to people. I understand what are their pain points. I try to solve their pain points through my solution. That's sales.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Vivek Khodka and Bisal are also in the chat, and they have been fortunate enough that Madhav is mentoring them in business development. And yeah, they are doing amazing, I
Uh,
guess. Yeah,
hopefully these guys turn out like really good.
yeah. Okay, I think we are coming to the end of this. But while we are at the end of this, I think there are two things that I want you to mention. One is I think IT is being like really big in India, right? And Nepal and India have like open borders, right? Um, how do you
Whole
think that?
load of developers and engineers. Yeah.
Yeah. So how can we breeze these opportunities? What do you think people from Nepal need to do that they can also like leverage these things that are being built in India, right? And second thing that I want you to answer is since Evolve is now going to a scaling phase, right? Uh, Now we might start to scale our own startup. So, what can people from Nepal expect? How can they be part of Evolve, or where can they know more about Evolve and all those things, right? I think I will let you answer both of these questions. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so first on, like yes, India and Nepal especially has a lot of developer talent, but um, there is very less quality talent, and this is, like when I go to hire a developer, I feel okay, people know things, but they don't know things in depth, and that's what sets them apart, from the masses. Like if someone, you see, you are an experienced smart contract developer, you can build those things from scratch. And when I talk to another new smart contract developer, they know how to develop smart contract, but they don't know anything around it. The thing is, we feel like these skills they just come from like learning things. No, you gotta build products, you gotta fail to learn, and you gotta like be able to solve this. You see, the biggest problem with the developers I or you especially see, like very less of them are really good as what they say, you see. And yeah, like people don't work on their skills a lot, and that is why even though we have the majority of or the most people doing development, we don't have pretty good high paying companies back in India, because you see, like in many startups I see, if you are from India or Nepal, your salary will be low for the same job if you are someone from another company or another country, let's say. And it happened in my previous startups as well, like yeah, like not which I was running, but I was a part of. But it's true, like when you see the quality of their work, it's way different. And Indian developers don't realize that. Yeah, you might know skill, but how clean is your work is all that matter. Like if someone is sitting on your head to, create that, and then you don't have, what Nepalis and Indian mentality usually Vivek is like, we want to ship things, build ship, build ship, build ship. We want to become ourselves a factory, and that time has gone where everything is considered as, a factory build. People love personalization and people want personalization. So that for that you should know how to personalize that. And when everyone is, working on mass, shipping and of products, I don't think there is a angle on who is like, yes, we have, but you have to upgrade yourself. You have to bring quality on your work. Second, Evolve and Nepal. Yes. So if Bibek launches Nepalese Blockchain Week, I would love Evolve to be definitely part of it, curate everything for Nepalese events there. And we will be hiring a couple of developers, hopefully from India and Nepal. So, yeah, to know more about Evolve, I think Bibek is the best guy to talk to, especially. And yeah, like get connected on a social. I usually reply to everyone, getting connected to me. So yeah.
Yeah. Awesome, Madhav. Anything else that you want to add apart from this that you think we have missed that might be beneficial for a beginner?
Yeah, a lot of products don't focus on business, and that kind of, makes me furious. You see, like you are building such a good product, but you don't think about the business, how you're going to sell your product. I have told this before. I did it, no matter if you have the world's best product, if you're perfectionist in what you do, if you can't sell your thing, it's worthless. And I would really, send this message to like developers in your circle. Like, you don't keep building solutions just to make solutions. You got to build those solutions that sells, and that's actually needed in the space. You can't just, pushing things and building things and just shipping things. No, you gotta sell them. And most developers who are founders as well, they don't think on that perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay, so last thing, uh, so like while we are doing this startup things and everything, people really ask you to like recommend books or all of those things, right? You were also asked to recommend some books to like learn business development or sales. But I what I'm asking to you is suggest a song for people to listen while they are working.
Song.
Yeah, any
I'm not a
song.
song guy, but okay. So, like I don't like explore listens to a lot of songs, but Samyak changes my recommendation once in a while. Currently, I'm
Yeah.
listening to wait, give me a second. So, the most played song for me right now is this one. Yeah. Okay, so one is Maharani. It's a rap, and I like it. And second is there is an artist called Gote. I don't remember his song. Yeah, but
Okay, yeah. What a name.
I really like that song.
Oh, hi Chaitanya. Chaitanya is in the chat.
Yeah, somebody that I used to know. Yeah, I really like the
Yeah.
song.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Vivek. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Thanks, Madhav. Thanks for joining. Appreciate a lot.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye.